In 2026, one of your mantras should be never to defraud anyone of their hard-earned money. In today's video, we'll be looking at 10 Yahoo boys that made billions from internet scamming but lost everything after getting caught by the EFCC and the FBI. You will be shocked that the number one person on this list made 6.4 trillion naira from fraud, but currently he has lost everything and is currently in prison. Before we continue, if you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe and turn on your post notification bell icon so that whenever I post new videos, you are going to get the updates as soon as possible. So at number 10, we have Ayodele Toyosin. In the cool morning of the 21st October 2025, Toyosi was arrested by the EFCC for a 600 million naira fraud and also a $50,000 fraud that he committed. Toyosi was the CEO of Reprite Global Limited and Agrotech Limited. Toyosi was into Agrotech. He promised his investors that if they invest in his agro company, that he's going to give them 16% return on investment every month. Unknown to investors, Toyosi was diverting funds given to him. He even bought a mansion worth 300 million naira in Lagos from the investment money. Toyosi was arrested and all his assets confiscated. Toyosi even faked that he had a health problem, that if the judge should send him to prison, that it is more like a death sentence. But the judge saw through his schemes, and currently Toyosi is chilling in a Nigerian prison. At number 9, we have Charles Uchenna David. On the 24th of September 2025, Uchenna David was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment for a $2 million romance scam in Boston Federal Court, United States of America. Uchenna David started romance scam at the age of 26 in 2016, but he chose to retire in 2019 after collecting $2,724,810 from 5 old women in the United States of America. Uchenna used the money to create a real estate company in Abuja. Every day, Uchenna will post motivational videos on Instagram on how many Nigerian youths are lazy and are not hardworking. He even got married to the love of his life. His news was everywhere. Unknown to Uchenna David, FBI were trailing him. Uchenna traveled to the UK, and after spending some time there, he wanted to relocate to the United States of America. But on getting to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, he was arrested by the FBI. According to the U.S. federal court, Uchenna David must serve 2 years in jail, and he must also repay the sum of $2,724,810 before being deported back to Nigeria. At the number 8 spot, we have Invictus Obi. On the 23rd of December 2025, Invictus Obi was released from the U.S. federal prison after he was sentenced to jail in the month of February 2021 for wire fraud, money laundering, and business email compromise. Invictus Obi was a role model to millions of African youths, but unknown to many, he was a wolf in a sheep's clothing. Invictus was into tech, agriculture, real estate, and renewable energy systems. The FBI started investigating Invictus Obi for fraud when he wanted to defraud the U.S. company responsible for producing caterpillars, a heavy agricultural equipment. It was later discovered that he had already stolen $11 million in fraud. His jail term was supposed to end on the 3rd of September 2028, but for some reason, Invictus Obi was released 3 years from completing his jail sentencing. At number 7, we have Tijani Dembaba. Dembaba is a 22-year-old Yahoo boy whose job is solely to launder money for politically exposed persons in Nigeria. In June 2025, Dembaba was arrested after a raid by the EFCC, and upon investigation, it was discovered that Dembaba has laundered 5 billion naira for some politicians whose name the EFCC never disclosed to the public. To shock you, the name of this Yahoo boy is not even Dembaba, and the EFCC has already gone ahead to conceal the names of those politically exposed persons that were involved in this crime. Dembaba is currently in jail, but the Nigerian politicians that supposedly used him to launder money through cryptocurrency are nowhere to be found. At number 6, we have Lawrence Folaomi. In 2021, Lawrence Folaomi committed a crime from his small apartment on Lagos Island that targeted US companies. Lawrence found a way of changing payment instructions in the transaction emails of reputable US companies and diverting the money into his own accounts. He did these fraudulent transactions 8 times and got over $1.2 million. Lawrence decided to retire, and he invested the money into legitimate ventures in Nigeria. Unknown to him, the FBI were trailing him for 4 years. The FBI sent all that they found about Lawrence to the EFCC, and this fraudster was arrested. Every of his assets has been seized, but the FBI wants Lawrence to be extradited to the United States of America so that true justice will be served. Alongside getting jailed, Lawrence will lose every penny that he has ever made through internet scamming. At number 5, we have Izuchukwu Okonkwo. Izuchukwu Okonkwo, who is a 33-year-old graduate with a PhD from Stanford University in the United States of America, graduated from business school in 2022. He is so brilliant and intelligent. As a graduate of Stanford Business School, Izuchukwu learned how to manipulate the stock market, and this was how Izuchukwu, alongside his accomplices, created a market manipulation scheme that generated $41 million. They used insider informations from major US banks and false data to trigger the rise and fall of US stocks. If convicted, Izuchukwu faces up to 25 years in jail. At number 4, we have Daniel Chima. The 40-year-old fraudster was part of a romance scam group that operated from 2017 to 2018 in Nigeria. Daniel Chima and his group will target elderly women with the promise of a relationship and possibly marriage. In 1 year, they made $405,000. Chima, who was the leader, took $166,400 for himself and allowed the remainder of the group to share the rest. But unknown to Daniel Chima, the FBI watched him for 8 years. Chima, who was now into a legitimate business, was traveling from Nigeria to the United Kingdom when he was arrested in London Heathrow Airport. He was immediately extradited to the United States of America. Daniel Chima pleaded guilty for mail fraud, wire fraud, identity fraud, and money laundering. He was sentenced to 33 months in prison with a 3 years supervised release. And in that time, Daniel Chima was told that he must pay back $166,400 back to his victims. At number 3, we have Leslie Chinedu Mba. Chinedu Mba was the leader of a Yahoo criminal group that conducted massive business email compromise from 2018 to 2023. The group will hack emails of companies, hijack their invoices, and authorize false payment instructions. They also engaged in romance scams targeted at older women in America. While running the scam, Mba had the audacity to stay illegally in the United States, jumping from one arranged marriage to the other. Mba stole $4 million and currently faces up to 25 years imprisonment. His sentencing is fixed for the 26th of February 2026. At number 2, we have Kashmir Chinedu Luke. Kashmir, who is the chief executive officer of a healthcare company, was accused by the US government for collecting $7 million for unrendered health services. When Kashmir got the news of his impending arrest by the FBI, Kashmir packed his bags and wanted to run back to Nigeria, but was caught by the FBI at the San Francisco International Airport. Truth be told, Kashmir has a legitimate company, but he got greedy along the line. He started inflating caregiver bills for the government to pay. Even when US ex-soldiers die, Kashmir will still present their data to the government as if they are still alive. According to the FBI, Kashmir presented 10,000 false claims and is currently facing 10 years imprisonment. At number 1, we have Godwin Ifeanyi Emefiele. Emefiele had the audacity to steal $4.5 billion. Do you know that this is over 9% of the 2026 foreign reserve of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Emefiele did all this when he took over as the Governor, Central Bank of Nigeria, from the 4th of June 2014 to the 9th of June 2023. Now I want you to ask yourself this question. If a mere CBN governor can steal $4.5 billion, what of the president? What of the vice president? Fraud does not pay. Instead, it ruins the image of the country and those that live in it. Leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you're new to our channel, kindly subscribe.